Welcome to New York Got Game.
All right, we are back with another episode of New York Got Game following the holiday weekend, and I hope that everybody had themselves a fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. I know that I did. We have a great show this week where we're going to mix a little bit of tech talk with a little bit of basketball. But right now, the basketball vibes with the pro teams in New York, they're pretty good right now. The Knicks, they start this week with a 9-7 record. They have a shot to advance to the knockout round of the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament, or NBA Cup. While the Nets, they're back at 500, 8-8 record after winning back-to-back games against the Heat and the Bulls. Now, the vibes could have been even better around the Knicks, who've had a roller coaster past two games. First, they rallied from a 21-point deficit against the Heat on Friday at the world's most famous arena. Then they found themselves down 15 points on Sunday to the Suns without Kevin Durant, only to fall to Phoenix after Devin Booker hit a game-winning three-pointer with 1.7 seconds left. Knicks fans are still mad about that one. Still, the Knickerbockers, they've won 7 out of their last 10 games. They've been very competitive to start this season. This week, the Knicks, they've got home games against the Hornets and the Pistons before heading to Toronto on Friday. And that's when they'll start a home-and-home series with the Raptors. The Nets, they're going to continue their 4-game homestand this week with 3 more games hosting the Raptors, Hornets, and Magic. But this week on New York Got Game, we have a very special guest. We're going to talk about a tech company that is really making an impact with both youth and grassroots basketball. So, let's get it. Artificial intelligence is already making an impact in the world of sports, and now a New Yorker is making an impact with AI in youth and grassroots basketball. His name is Sameer Ahuja, and he is the president of GameChanger, the #1 rated youth sports app for live streaming, scorekeeping, and team management. Now, GameChanger, they just announced a groundbreaking addition to its basketball mobile streaming experience. It's called Autostream. Today, we're going to talk about that, AI and hoops, as Sameer joins me in studio now. Sameer, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. I'm so glad to have you here. I got to ask you, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you eat too much? Did you have a good Thanksgiving with the family?
It was amazing. Definitely ate too much. Big fan of the pie. Watched a little football.
There you go.
We had a great time. And it's my favorite holiday because everyone can celebrate it no matter where you're from. Some people have their own traditions, but it's just about family and bringing everyone together and saying thanks and having gratitude for what we all should feel really great about.
Yeah, should be thankful, should be grateful. I'm glad I had a really good one, too, and it's my favorite holiday, too, for some of the same reasons, in the fact that you can bring your cultural traditions into it, you can enjoy it, you get a little sports into it, too, which is always good for what we do, so it's always greatest, too. But, you know, you're here, we're going to talk a little bit about basketball, talk about AI, and want to talk about your company, GameChanger, because you guys just announced Autostream. And this, guys, I have to tell everybody, I've been really impressed by what this program could do. So I got to ask you this, Sameer. Can you just walk us through the technological innovation behind Autostream, and how does it, because it tracks and streams basketball games just using a mobile device. So how does that all work? Explain it to the people.
Sure. Well, GameChanger is all about capturing youth sports games from rec, elementary school, all the way through high school. When we looked at basketball, which we're big fans of the sport, it moves so fast that using the phone and having someone do the work manually gets really hard. So we launched Autostream, which uses cutting-edge AI, a form of AI called computer vision that allows you to track the action. It's basically how a self-driving car drives itself. It looks at the world around using cameras and software, and in the case of basketball, it follows the action. So it follows the ball and the player that has the ball and the passing and the shooting. And so just you mount your phone on a tripod. You don't have to touch the phone. You press one button to go live, and the software and the camera will move from side to side. And your fans at home, which in our case are mostly mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, can watch the action. And the coach or an assistant coach who in the past might have had to do some more things with the phone can do what they're supposed to do, which is coach the kids and help them out, and less work on the administrative stuff and the streaming and more work just being a great coach.
Gee, and that helps in basketball. And somebody used to be around high school basketball a lot, youth basketball. We were talking about this before we started recording. I know how helpful that is for a lot of parents, a lot of families. So that brings me to my next question, because I think a lot of times you hear this word that I'm going to mention when we talk about technology and around anything, but particularly in sports. Something being revolutionary, right? How do you think Autostream will revolutionize the experience for high school basketball players and their coaches, because this is something that group hasn't had before.
There are more basketball, high school, and youth basketball teams than any other team sport in the country. There's millions of games. Most of those games you can't get footage of. So if you want a professional game from the NBA or from college basketball, you can find it. But think of all these kids and their parents and coaches and everyone working so hard to give kids this amazing experience, and you can never get the footage of the game. You can never get the stats. With this, we are going to be able to deliver the game experience to everyone. A parent has to go to work, can't be at the game. A parent going with another kid. A grandparent lives across the country from the kid. You're now going to be able to see their action. You're going to be able to get their stats, and this is going to revolutionize youth basketball, because this content never existed before, and families are now going to be able to celebrate their kids' achievements. The parents and siblings and grandparents and aunts and uncles are going to be able to celebrate their kids. We think it's going to keep people playing sports more, keep kids playing more, which we know is healthy, because they're going to have all this support from their families. Kids are going to come home, dad and mom missed the game. We saw your clip. You did amazing. That positive reinforcement is going to make the kid want to get up the next day and play again.
So that's the thing. When you think about youth sports, right? Excuse me. When you think about youth sports, parents want to be involved. For parents out there, right? You're a parent. I'm a parent as well, too. You want to see your kids play. And, back in the day, it's going to make it sound old. We're talking about back in the day. No matter what time it was, you want to follow your child's journey. So in this way, does it make parents more engaged and involved in that youth sports participation for them? Does this do that?
100%. We've seen that. We have a lot of people using our app for baseball and other sports. And we've seen that, and we're seeing that now with basketball. You will be able to, you're on your phone, your kid has a highlight, scores the winning shot, you'll be able to see it. We have people tell us they go out to dinner with their friends. The only reason they can keep their phone on the dinner table is to watch their kid playing GameChanger, because that's allowed, right? You're on a business meeting or something, you get an alert. People have been on planes and been able to see their kids. It connects families around this activity that the kids are doing. And whether it's because the team is traveling out of town, or again, someone's busy, it just puts you in the game. And the way our software works, it is pro-level quality footage. So we've gotten used to seeing the NBA or others, and it's that level of quality. It's what people want, and they want it on their phones and then on their tablets.
Yeah, so people want to be able to see it anytime, anywhere. Also be able to share it. That's also another part of it too that people like. So really good things there. Could you talk a little bit about the importance of integrating AI technology into youth and grassroots basketball? Because how does it change the landscape of these early stages of the sport? How does it change that?
You see a lot of technology in pro sports, and there's a lot of headlines about it, and it's really great, and collegiate sports. We really believe that the best of pro and collegiate sports should come into youth. That drives us for everything we do. And we really think of sports as an ecosystem from youth to the pros. The kids who are playing will grow up, a few of them will grow up to be professionals, but most of them are going to grow up to be fans and part of the ecosystem. And we want that connectivity. We want them to experience the same thing that the pros might. You might have a kid who just wants to get better. They're never going to become great. They're never going to get a scholarship. Why shouldn't they have the same access? Because we know sports makes people's lives better. We know it improves their physical abilities. We know it improves mental abilities, gives them confidence. We want to give them the kind of experience that you'd get at a pro level, at a youth level. And if we do that, we are building the next generation who's going to grow up. They're going to be the leaders of the world as they grow up. And sports is such an important way to build those physical and mental skills. And I take so much pride in the fact that we're, every week for a few hours, the parents around the country are basically lending us their kids on this digital platform. That's a huge responsibility. And I am so committed to elevating those kids so when they grow up, they can lead the world.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And one of the things when I looked at Autostream, right, and what it does, so just as Samir said before, it's not just the tracking of the movement of watching the game. There's also data involved. Yeah. And as you know, being a sports fan, data is so important in sports right now, probably more than ever before. How can the data and insights provided by Autostream be used by players and coaches to enhance performance, strategy in high school basketball, youth basketball, grassroots basketball?
It's really transformational, and it can help both the coach and the player, but also the family. So with the coach and the player, you now have a much higher level of automation of collecting this information. The coach doesn't have to go back and pull up a spreadsheet and calculate all these things. They can then work with the player, and they can combine not just the numerical data, but the video, put it together. There's a profile for each athlete, and they can say, look, here's a play you made, here's some improvements you can make. They can go back and forth on the video, correlate it to the data, and the athlete themselves, think of the pride that they have. By the way, even if they're on a cold streak, they get better. They have a record of this thing that they've spent hours and hours and weeks and months doing over their career. We give you the chance to have literally your career stats like you might see for a pro player. And then you think about the parents, the pride that they get. And of course, parents show off. They're allowed. They're parents. You can look at your stats. We have parents whose kids have graduated onto college, and they still go on GameChanger and look at their stats. I view it like I will look at a baby picture of my kid, on my phone from years ago. It pops up as an alert. Parents will do that with the stats, and so will grandparents. So it brings everyone together around the accomplishments of kids, and everyone cares about that, and everyone's, of course, passionate about it.
Yeah, everybody likes to see the numbers. You just might not want to look at it if the numbers are not good. You might not want to do that. But I also wanted to ask you about this because we're talking about the technology around it. How do you see AI technology like Autostream influencing pro basketball in the coming years? Because we know AI is here to stay. We know it's in everything that we're doing right now. How do you see its impact on professional basketball?
It will revolutionize every element of all sports, and certainly basketball. First of all, the detail that you can now do with video to capture the movements of the players at a level of precision where you'll be able to tell a player, move your arm a little bit to the right to get a more efficient shot, to the stats themselves, and then all the way on to the fan experience. And of course, sports is nothing. Pro sports is nothing without the fans, and whether that's in the stadium or the arena or at home, you will be able to see complex data on the screen at the game. It's going to be completely different. You're going to feel like you're in the game. This is not even that far away. This is in the next few years, and it's exciting to see the leagues, the teams making really big investments here. It will. If you're not at the game, you will feel like you're at the game. That's how intense it'll be. You will be able to put yourself in the minds and the bodies of the players. Everyone around the world will feel like they're in a front row seat, courtside at a game, and that's just going to transform how we experience sports, and I think just elevate pro sports and all sports to another level.
Yeah, it's going to go to another level, and that's really exciting. I kind of skipped on this, right? Because you are the founder, the president of GameChanger. This is your role, and GameChanger, it's changing the game, right? It's changing the game right now. So I want to talk to you about GameChanger. Tell people what GameChanger is and it does, and how can basketball families sign up either their athletes or their team to use GameChanger? Sure.
Well, I'm fond of saying GameChanger is a happiness company. We deliver happiness to parents, grandparents around the country. We do that by connecting you to 7 million games around the country played by baseball, softball, basketball, soccer, hockey teams. Again, coaches use the phone, they stream and score the action, and we pipe it over to parents. Here's the best part. It's free to use. There's you download, you go to the App Store on your iPhone or your Android phone, you download it. If you're a coach, you set up the team. If you're a parent, you get your coach to set up the team. And then like you'd watch Netflix or one of these other shows, where you stream on your phone or your tablet, you just stream the games and you're connected to your kids. It's available to everyone. That is such an important thing for us. We believe very strongly in the importance of youth sports for everyone and the accessibility of it. And by offering the core product for free, any team in any socioeconomic status, in any town, village, city, location, anywhere in the United States can use our app right now today. There's no hardware to set up. There's no contract you have to sign. Just everyone has a phone. Many people have more than one. Just go download the app. And we're working every day to make it better and better for all of you.
Accessibility, always important, something we talk about here in sports. This is just a very important thing that you want to have, that everybody is able to use it. I want to talk about you a little bit, Samir, here. We get a little personal here, because you're a native New Yorker, basketball enthusiast like myself. How did your personal experiences and love for the game influence the development of GameChanger and Autostream?
Yeah, for sure. So I was an immigrant. I immigrated here from India in the mid-'80s, and as a kid, and my cultural integration to America was baseball and basketball. And Ewing gets drafted by the Knicks, right? Started following them. Coach Pitino comes in, building a lot. You get into the early 90s, an incredible run. Fell short, a few times. Those were really, really tough for me. But, it's hard to beat Jordan. And, the Rockets NBA Finals, that was tough. But that was my language to connecting with other boys and other friends in where I was growing up, because I didn't have that cultural connection. School was easy, academics, all that was fine, but it was really sports, in particular basketball and baseball, that really connected me. I knew all the stats, I memorized all of that, and I saw the power of that. And even though I don't view this as a negative thing, my parents were really busy. They were working really hard. So I played, basketball, I played baseball. They were never at any of the games, and I don't blame them at all. They were really busy. But I would have loved to have shown them the video, shown them the stats from those games, and us kind of connect. They were very supportive, but they had no idea what I was doing, right? And so that really, really drives me, that whether it's because you have something else going on, you have another kid or something, I want parents, I want grandparents to see what their kids are doing, and that's a lifelong memory, like a photo or a video from a wedding or from someone's birthday party. These are lifelong memories and moments, and they're important. The moment of your kid is important to you. It's not important to maybe anyone else, but we want to have that one-on-one connection. And we figured out a way with software and a phone and all that to give you the moments that are important to you.
Yeah, I always find that interesting, right? The connection you have with something that goes back to something that you can create or what it is that you do, right? And I'm going to give you a follow-up on that, too, because I think that was so interesting, the story you said from your background. But do you feel like that connection is going to fuel you to do more with GameChanger and where you want to take it? Because you're able to create this for families, and I would think that there's more you want to do with that, too.
I have been doing this now almost 7 years, and I'm as passionate as I was when I started. 1 in 5 youth sports games in America are on GameChanger. I want all of them on GameChanger. There's millions of games in basketball and soccer and hockey. I have to say, my younger daughter's 5th grade rec basketball last year. The team was okay. They worked really hard. She made 3 shots during the year. Every one of those shots, I happened to miss the shot because I got a phone call in one. I missed a game. It doesn't matter to me what happened the rest of the season. I missed those 3 shots, and I'm never going to get to see them. And I wish, and we weren't streaming them. We had a problem with Wi-Fi in the gym. I would do a lot. I would pay a lot of money to get those 3 video clips. I want every parent, every grandparent in America to have that experience and not ever say that they missed one of their kids' moments. And I could say that about other things, music and all that, but in our case, we're in the sports world, and I don't want them to miss a single sports moment. That is what drives me every single day.
Yeah, and using Autostream, using GameChanger, you have the chance to not miss those moments, which are really good. Okay, last thing for me here, Samir, I got to ask you about the professional basketball teams here in New York. What do you think are the state of the basketball teams here in New York, whether it's the Liberty, the Knicks, the Nets? How do you see technology playing a role in their future successes? Because we talked about what it can mean for professional basketball as a whole, but for the New York teams, how do you see technology playing a role in their success?
Well, first of all, I'm hoping the Knicks make the playoffs. I know the Nets are a little bit of a rebuilding. I was at one of the WNBA Finals games, and it was epic.
Which one did you go to?
I went to, it was the last
one. I was at that game
nice,
too.
Yeah, and tough outcome.
Yep.
But I was amazed at the intensity and the passion of the audience and the crowd. New York teams have a lot of resources. There's a huge audience. There's a lot of passion, and they need to make some good calls, get some good talent in here. The analytics available to every pro team are just going through the roof, the amount that they have. I think one thing that's cool is a lot of the pro teams can kind of start to extend the data that they're looking at about players. This is a little self-serving into the youth. If we're able to create a database of basketball players at the middle school, high school level in terms of their performance, that's going to be super valuable at the collegiate and pro level. In baseball, we have created the largest stats database in the entire history of sports, and we're going to be doing that in basketball as well and other sports, and I think that can help the pro leagues as well. And we need some good basketball in New York. It's it's been a long time, and we got to bring some championships back here.
We do. Well, the Liberty were close. They were very close.
I think they're gonna be great for years.
Yeah, I think they're right there on the doorstep. We will see about the Knicks, who are trying to make their third playoff appearance in 4 years. We'll see if that can happen. The Nets are in a rebuilding situation, so we will see. We'll see how the game changes for these New York teams. But that is Samir Ahuja, the president of GameChanger. Samir, this was a fantastic conversation because it's always great when you can talk tech with sports. I think it's such a great conversation to have. So I want to say to you, please continue the great work that you're doing. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. And you as well. The show is wonderful. I'm a huge fan. I'm so impressed with what you're doing.
Thank you.
Good luck. And you have a lot of new followers and guaranteed on your show. So thank you for having me.
And you will hopefully have a lot of new customers and subscribers to GameChanger as well, too. We got to have you back up here. We'll have you back on the show.
I'd love to.
All right, that is Samir Ahuja. Check out his work. Check out GameChanger and Autostream. And Samir will be back with us at some point on New York Got Game. All right, that does it for this week's edition of New York Got Game. Special thanks to my guest, Samir Ahuja. Also, got to thank the people who make this show the best digital basketball show covering New York hoops. For my producer, Lee Insler, editors Antonio Oliveros Nicole, and Kim Highland, director Joe Masali, I'm Dexter Henry. We got to bounce, but we'll see you next time on New York Got Game.
And thanks for watching New York Got Game. Boom shakalaka.